Coming up, these guys and gals don't seem to be bothered by the pandemic too much. If only we were so lucky. However, you are in luck because for the time being, Flamingo Gardens is opened and has some new sights to see. We'll send you on a backlot tour from before COVID-19 and update you on what's changed at this wildlife sanctuary today on SoFlo Health.
Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie and we are at Flamingo Gardens in Davie. Behind me is a dragonfly made out of Legos. What's that doing here? Well, you'll find out in just a sec when we talk to Keith Clark, Executive Director of Flamingo Gardens. And it seems like years ago, but in fact it was only a few months ago when we shot a special episode right here at Flamingo Gardens to give you a backlot tour. Now a lot has changed since then with the COVID-19 and coronavirus pandemic. So let's talk to Keith about what's changed, and then you'll see a pre-COVID show. Hey there, Keith.
Hi, Hunter.
How are you? I'd shake your hand,
Good.
but you know the deal. So, Keith, a lot has changed since we've been here in, I think it was late February, for a show that was going to air in March, but then changed on us. So what's changed at Flamingo Gardens?
Summer here is normally at 25% capacity anyhow, but we're running about 50% of that right now. We're following all COVID regulations, wiping down, sanitizing on a regular basis, and we're asking all of our guests to wear masks.
Right.
So anytime that they're indoor, absolutely wear a mask. When they're outdoors, we ask that they wear a mask anytime they're within 6 feet of other people. If they're out in the gardens by themselves, then they can take the mask off if there's no one around. You have to have a mask to get in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And there have been some new additions, though, despite the coronavirus pandemic.
Right.
Like this.
Yes, we reserved this Nature Connects Art with Lego Bricks exhibit by Sean Kinney. It will be here until September 13th, and there are 13 different displays made out of Lego bricks throughout the gardens, all representing different kinds of gardening scenes, animals, insects, pollinators, gardeners, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think I see another one down there. You want to go take a look at it and continue the conversation?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. So, Keith, what's this one all about?
Well, this is called Monarch on a Butterfly, and this one is made out of over 39,000 bricks, and it took over 400 hours to complete.
God. There's plenty of these to see. They're beautiful, and you know they really make you think. Like, in fact, the two over there look like people working in a garden.
Yes.
That's a fun new thing to see for people that have been here before, but if you haven't, you have to come experience Flamingo Gardens. And we're going to give you a sneak peek of what it looks like behind the scenes here, because the fact is whether there's a pandemic or not, the animals pretty much operate the same.
Correct.
Now remember, what you are going to see is pre-COVID-19, so there will not be masks on some people that are fairly close together, but we'd love to still share it with you, so you're gonna see that right now. All right, Mike, where are we now?
This is our Everglades Wildlife Sanctuary.
Okay.
And this is our manager right here.
This is the manager?
Yeah, this is the manager. He makes to check out everybody before you come in and make sure you're cool. But this is our aviary. It's 26,000 square feet. It's 26 feet tall. And it's designed with 5 ecosystems of the Everglades.
Right.
So when the birds come here, it makes them feel very comfortable because this is what they're used to out in the environment where they live.
Right.
We give home to permanently injured wildlife. So these are all Florida native animals. They all have an injury. And what's great is if they happen to have an offspring, their offspring is released back into the wild.
Right.
And sometimes we can breed as many as 200 birds a year from this aviary.
Right.
Now, when it comes nesting season in this aviary, we have to supply the twigs for the birds. We go through about 15 truckloads of twigs every breeding season, in order for the birds to have enough material. And they all specialize in certain size twigs that each species wants. So we kind of have to make sure we put a wide variety of twigs in here.
All right, what are we looking at, Mike? What are some of the species I see?
Well, this is a coastal area where a lot of our shorebirds, that live along the coast.
Right.
We have brown pelicans here. And we also have white pelicans, the big tall ones you see, many different gull species.
So are these seagulls?
No, there's no such bird as a seagull.
No such thing as a seagull?
There's no such thing as a seagull. No bird out there called a seagull. These are all gulls.
All gulls,
Just
no
all
seagulls.
No seagull. No
so what
such
kind
bird.
of gulls have we seen walking around here?
Well, we got herring gulls, we have ring-billed gulls, we have laughing gulls. that we
Laughing
have.
gulls?
Yeah, the ones with the black heads are laughing gulls. When it's not breeding season, they'll have a solid white head. They grow that black head during breeding season.
So imprint, it's kind of almost like how pets are. They just prefer people, and that's what can make it dangerous. If they go out in the wilds, well, they're gonna go up to people and people don't know. They're thinking, oh man, this is gonna be an aggressive animal, when really it's just liking people. And that's what some of the cases here, because someone sadly will hand raise them, not realizing you can't hand raise animals all the time, which is why we always like, just bring it to us, we'll take care of them, and then we can release them. Because that is the goal at the end of the day, is to release these animals back into the wild.
Now we're starting to enter the mangrove swamp area, and this is where you find a lot of your wading birds. You know, your roseate spoonbills, a lot of your heron species will be living in this area because this is what they're used to in the wild.
Assistant
manager. Yeah.
The assistant manager is now attacking our producer, but that's okay.
Now this is one of the main breeding areas in our aviary. This is where a lot of the herons like to breed up here in the cypress forest area. And normally what we do is, usually when they start to leave the nest and start to perch away from the nest, that's when we like to try to catch them. And then bring them in the back, finish raising them up. And then we put them through a thing called hacking school, where we put them in cages with live food, live fish, and we make sure they catch fish before they're released back into the wild.
Mike, this has been wonderful so far. What are we going to see next?
Well, you like birds, right?
Love birds.
What about birds that eat birds?
It's a little disconcerting, but I'm in.
Okay. We're going to go look at some birds that are considered up there at the top of the food chain.
All right.
So, all right.
Let's go check them out. So here we are in the birds of prey. What is this?
These are ospreys. These are your nickname fish hawk, specialize in fish. Females are much larger. They have brown feathers on the chest, and the males will have like a whiter chest. I tell you, one of the most important birds we have on this planet is going to be the vultures. Here in Florida, we do have two species of vultures. We have the turkey vulture, and of course, we have the black vulture. We need to have these animals on the planet to clean up all these dead carcasses. If not, you start to have anthrax will start to be growing everywhere, and then all the diseases. They specialize in dead carcasses. They have very strong stomach acids that can break down. Very, very important bird for this planet.
Of course, you've got your owls, we've got some hawks, all local to our area, but I think we know what everyone came to see.
Sure.
Let's go check them out.
Okay.
This is about as American and as cool as it gets for some of us.
Yes, the American bald eagle. Amazing story behind them. Our male over here was actually struck by a semi.
Oh no.
And it actually severed the entire wing off, the CB antenna. And we've had that since 1999. And the other female here actually had a badly shattered wing. Once again, got hit by a vehicle. Unfortunately, bald eagles will come down and eat carrion off the road, so they are prone to get hit by cars. And so that's actually what happened to these two here.
And speaking of eating, because you're saying that they're eating off the side of the road, what do you feed them here?
I have like 20 species of birds of prey here. A total of about 56 birds. To feed them for 5 weeks, we go through 4,800 baby roosters, 200 adult rats, 200 adult mice, 200 adult quail, and about 40 pounds of fish to feed these 56 birds for 5 weeks.
That is crazy.
Yes, and birds of prey are really so important to the environment. They're so important to humans. They are the only animal that is our indicator on how well the environment is doing. And that's why it's so important to count birds during migration. When they start to see the number of birds of prey fall off, they know something underneath them is happening. Birds of prey are considered top of the food chain. They eat everything underneath them.
So making sure that they have a healthy life ensures that we have a healthy life after the fact.
Panthers and otters and bears, oh my! When we return, we meet Josh the bear, check out some playful otters, and feed a Florida panther. Fortunately, places are beginning to open back up, but one of the things that you should still do during the pandemic, after the pandemic, and just for the rest of your life, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Simply get them wet, add some soap, turn off your water, and this is the fun part, we stay here for about 20 seconds, so make sure you get fingertips, tops of your hands,
rinse them off, and keep watching SoFlo Health. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie. We are with Mike of Flamingo Gardens at Flamingo Gardens, and we're trying to coax Josh the bear to come on outside. Is this something you do every day?
Yes.
Yes.
Josh is always a little slow, a little sleepy. Usually takes around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it's all done on his terms.
He's kind of scooting around in there.
Yeah, he's waiting to see if we got any more treats for him before he comes back out. But he's about ready to come out.
Is Josh a local?
Well, he was actually bought from a breeder in Oklahoma, but he did come locally. He was at another institution where, unfortunately, he spent 14 years in a 20-foot by 20-foot cage.
We've bribed Josh here with a pancake. And is that the kind of thing he eats? Does he eat a wide variety of foods?
He eats a lot of fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables?
Right.
This is just
This is a little treat to get him to walk around.
Right.
We'll let Josh get back to his daily activities, and let's go find us some other animals.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. So this is the otter exhibit, and it is soundproof, so I'm gonna have to yell over to Kara while she feeds the otters. Kara, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So tell us what you're about to feed them, and tell us about the otters.
Today I'm feeding our otters both smell and capeland. Also, they're gonna get some chicken. They're purely carnivores, and they are top predators in the wild, so they're gonna eat all meat.
And they look like they have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, they do have a lot of fun. They get free meals, free board and housing. They're pretty well treated here.
And are these natives?
These guys are native. You can find them in the Everglades all the way up to Alaska. So they have a really thick coat, really great for swimming. Say hi.
And what should people know about otters?
They think they're cute and cuddly, but they're not. They're actually very vicious. They are top predators. A lot of the otters you see on the internet are either babies or a different species. So these guys can definitely deal some damage.
Right, but they're nice to you.
They're nice to me. They've all been raised here in captivity or brought to us by people because they were abandoned as pups. So they've lived around humans their whole life.
All right, well, stay close because soon we're gonna go hang out with a Florida panther, but first we'll let Kara feed all these otters. This is Miranda. Say hi, Miranda.
Hi.
And that is a Florida panther. What's his name?
Buddy. Right now I'm trying to get him over so that I can train him.
And what do you train a Florida panther to do?
How to do medical things without having to do it while knocking him out, because you don't want to knock down a big cat all the time.
Right.
If you happen to knock out a big cat all of the time, then what's going to happen is they're going to get sick. Something could happen while under anesthesia, just like for us humans. So we want to kind of keep that risk low by being able to do everything without having to like go in there.
And what does that entail then?
So that means I'm gonna get him to stand up, so he's gonna put his paws right up on the fence for me, and then I'll have him lay down, and that's just because in the back, I have a little bit more of a slit underneath the door, so that I can put his paws under, and if I need to like check his nails, trim them, do anything like that, if he has a hangnail, I'm able to fix that without having to physically go in there with him.
Great.
He's almost 2 years old, he'll be 2 July 4th, and we're gonna get him to do a couple of tricks for you guys.
So is he full grown?
He is not full grown yet. So he's gonna get a little bit bigger. Usually they stop growing higher and they'll start growing wider, just like I did. So, you know, kind of how we all do as adults.
That's what happens.
So, up. So whenever I'm doing this, basically what I'm trying to get him to do is I'm able to see his paws, I'm able to see the whole interior of his stomach stay up. And whenever he stays, as long as I feel like I've been able to check out everything, I'll give him a nice little click, and then he gets his food.
So it's kind of like training a dog, but a much more
Larger
intense
version.
version. Much
Very
larger,
large.
more intense. There's a lot more going on here, but that's very impressive.
But I can also get him to buddy up. Sit.
Oh my God.
Down. But so basically it's just so I can like trim his nails and stuff, and then he's gonna run off now because he's like, I'm done with you guys.
Yeah. And what should people know about Florida panthers?
Florida panthers, unfortunately, right now in the wild, their population is going really, really low. In fact, in just January, we had 4 of them hit by cars, which is very, very unfortunate. And right now, what we're trying to do, like panther conservation and stuff like that, is what we really strive for here at Flamingo Gardens.
And how can people help?
People can help by, you can go on our website and donate to just the animal care. If you go specifically on the donation thing, it has a drop down. You can send money, animal care. We take blankets, we take pillows, we take everything and anything that you would be throwing away anyways. And we're gonna have that to be able to use for our animals here, because with our rehabilitation and stuff like that, we're gonna use all those pillows, blankets and stuff to put on the bottom for them. So.
Great. Miranda, thank you so much. I'll let you, what are you doing now? What are you doing next? You just done?
What am I doing next? I am going to go probably see what you guys are doing next.
Okay, so let's go find out what we're doing next and find Mike. Let's go.
When SoFlo Health returns, we make a salad fit for a bear and learn more about Flamingo Gardens and its mission to preserve our wildlife.
Hey, whoa, stop. You're about to touch your face again. The average person touches their face 23 times per hour, and that's just too many times to be touching our face right now. If you must touch your face for some reason, please wash your hands for at least 20 seconds first to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Okay, that was just a SoFlo Health reminder. Now back to SoFlo Health.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and today we are at Flamingo Gardens, and so far we've been to the aviary. We met Josh the bear, Buddy the Florida panther, and now we are at the Animal Care Center, where we're going to meet Laura, the curator, and we're going to create some of the food that then the animals eat. We're going to talk about rehabilitation and so much more, so let's go. As promised, this is Laura. Laura, what are we doing and what is all this?
What we're going to do is we're going to make a salad for Josh the bear.
Okay.
Our animals, one of the most important things to us is to make sure in captivity they have very good nutrition, proper supplements, things to aid them if they are elderly like Josh. So what we do every day is we make Josh a salad. Since bears are omnivores, he eats a variety of things. About 3 pounds of lettuce.
3 pounds of lettuce.
2.5 pounds of fruits. And 3 pounds of meat every afternoon. We're going to add 2 pounds of fruits onto the top of the salad and a little bit of vegetables. It's not a salad unless it has toppings, right?
Of course.
So we're gonna take, we got some dried mealworms here.
Okay, now this is the only part of the salad where I'd say, all right, I'm done.
We got some dried mealworms. He loves those. They're nice and crunchy, taste like peanuts.
Right.
We're also gonna throw some peanuts on top of that salad too.
Shell and all?
Shell and all. He will shell them and leave the shells for us to clean up in the morning. Only the best for our bear and all our animals.
Now the meat.
So we're gonna do 3 pounds of meat here. It's very important for him to have protein in his diet to keep him healthy. And most importantly, we're gonna put some calcium, vitamins on top. Since Josh is a 21-year-old bear, he gets a supplement for his joints.
Right.
We're gonna do 1 tablespoon of that. And then we also use a CBD oil because he does have problems with his joints and bones, and this has helped him immensely, as well as our older bobcat. We're gonna do 1 ml drizzled on top of his meat to keep him nice and active.
Great. Now, in addition to a great healthy diet, you do a lot of rehabilitation here.
Absolutely.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so our rehabilitation program, we accept animals that have been injured from the wild. What we try to do is rehabilitate those animals. If they're able to be released into the wild, we do so. Since we have a facility that we can house these animals, if they are non-releasable, we keep them.
Okay.
Now, by keeping them, what we do is we put them into a breed and release program. These animals will go into cages with mates, have offspring. Those healthy offspring are released into the wild. Even though these animals are permanently injured, their offspring still can be released into the wild.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we've met a lot of them earlier today, including the bald eagle, many of the birds in the aviary, and I think some of the other mammals here as well, correct?
Yes, almost all of our animals are permanently injured or rescued or from confiscations by Florida Fish and Wildlife.
Right, and I think that's an important distinction about Flamingo Gardens. It's not a zoo, it's a rehabilitation center that allows you to come and take a sneak peek of what these animals do and these creatures do in the wild, and they're also taken very well care of because, I mean, look at that salad.
Hey, if you have to be in captivity, you should be taken care of as well as possible, and that's what we strive to do.
And that's lovely to hear. And the other thing that's great about Flamingo Gardens is there's so much horticulture to see here. And if you don't know what horticulture is, well, I'll let Joe tell you.
Horticulture is the intense cultivation of plants. So it can be ornamental or it could be for vegetables and fruits.
And then, oh my God, you see something like this.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I'm here now, is I saw this arboretum, and that's one of our champion trees. We have 16 champions, which means they're the biggest in the state, biggest in the county, maybe biggest in the country.
Right.
And this is probably the granddaddy of all of them. This is an ear tree. Just spectacular. Huge spread, huge girth to the trunk.
Yeah, let's go take a look at it up close and personal.
Okay.
Here. Is this part of the root system of this tree?
It's part of the root system.
Holy
right.
smokes. How far out does this root go?
So this root system goes out twice as far as the canopy. Wow. So it's way down that way and way down that way.
Yeah, and this thing is thick. I mean,
oh yeah, it's huge. I'm not sure what the circumference of the trunk is, but it's definitely a big tree.
Right. So for a horticulturist like yourself, this is a big deal.
Oh, this is a big deal. This is huge. And
literally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything people can do at home to take care of their local ecosystem as far as plants go?
Yeah, absolutely. Plants are extremely healthy to have around. They clean the air. Plants are amazing, especially these trees that we've got planted here. They cool the air underneath them by 20 degrees. So that's absolutely amazing. And then the water that transpo evaporates out of the leaves of the tree, that cools the air an additional 5 degrees. One of the things you want to do is don't plant invasive exotics. And what I mean by invasive exotics are plants that aren't from here. They're not from South Florida. And what they do is they force out native stuff. So if you can plant native plants, if you find native plants that you like, that you think are beautiful, plant them. By all means, that's what belongs here.
Right.
But there are exotics that aren't invasive, that just look good and they do well here. By all means, plant them as well.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for telling
Absolutely.
us about horticulture. There's so much more to learn and to know about it, but you're going to have to visit Joe for yourself.
All right, come on out and see us.
That's it for this week's episode of SoFlo Health. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, we couldn't come to Flamingo Gardens without visiting some flamingos. Thank you to Mike and everyone here at Flamingo Gardens for showing us around and showing us what it's like to take care of all these wonderful creatures and the plants and so much more so we can enjoy it. As always, you can watch previous episodes of SoFlo Health on SoFloHealth.com. You can follow us using @SoFloHealth and share with us what you're doing to stay healthy. And until next week, I'm just gonna hang out with these guys and girls. Are you a guy or a girl? Oh, I don't know.
Next week, social distance and social responsibility. We set sail to a week before the pandemic began when we joined forces with the local company keeping our waterways clean. Plus, how stress affects you physically and a glute workout from Morgan. I'll see you then.